Okay, so for part C of this problem 4, by the way, this is from the 2010 AP test. And back in 2010, problem number 4, part C, was asking to pretty much find the volume. If you guys read this already, find the volume with cross sections that are perpendicular to the y-axis. Okay, so that's one thing that should have stood out as you read this problem. And something that's a little out of the ordinary also is that they are giving you pretty much an equation for the height. The height is 3 times the length of the base. Okay, so again, as I explain this, I'm going to be showing you the 2D compared with the 3D. So the thing that's different here is that now we have the base is pretty much cross sections, or the base of the cross sections should form a right angle with the y-axis. So back when we were talking about area, this is doing the right function minus the left function. We are not going to be focusing on the upper function minus the lower, the upper function minus the lower function. This is the right function minus the left function. Okay? And let's see. These are the rectangles, okay, that are being stacked. Okay, what is the area for a rectangle? Area of a rectangle is base times height. Okay, but we know something. Right here, the height is 3 times the length, so height is pretty much 3 times the base. Okay, instead of saying length times height or length times width, I'm saying base times height, so base times the height. So the height is 3 times the length is the same as saying the height is 3b. Okay, so if I go ahead and substitute that for h, so area is equal to b times 3b. All we really have to do is find a formula for the base and plug that into 3b squared. Okay? Because based on the conditions given to us about this rectangle, the area for this rectangle is 3b squared. Okay, so everything's pretty much falling into place except for y equals 2 radical x. If we're going to integrate with respect to y, my function better not have x variables. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And when I square both sides, I'm pretty much looking at x equals y squared over 4. Okay, so now this is x equals y squared over 4. Now this is going to be 6. This is 9. And I'm bringing out this 6 because my limits are going to be y values. Okay, so given this information, I would pause the video right now and see if you can set up the integral. So remember that the setup, by the way, we're going to plug in y squared over 4 into 3b squared. So this is now my base is because don't forget this is x equals 0. So the right minus the left, y squared over 4 minus 0. We're going to plug that in for area here. This is going to be 3 times y squared over 4 minus 0, or just y squared over 4 squared. The limits go from y equals 0 to y equals 6. So your setup should look something like that. Okay, there's a bunch of ways we could have written this. We could have written it like this. So let me put or. Oh, you guys can't see that. There it is. Or I think this is how the rubric had it. Or take out the constant. Okay, and on the AP test, all of these forms will work. You'll get credit for all of these. Okay, and that's all I wanted to discuss in this video.